This is why the Champions League is the best, one of the best competitions in the world. It's still the World Cup and then, Nations Cup and World Cup America. And the FA Youth Cup. No, easy. This is huge. Massive. Inter against Dortmund. To say that I'm excited for this game would be an understatement. This is what I live for. This is what I breathe for. This is why I built this channel in the first place. I mean, spoiler alert, I built this channel for games like this. Yeah, I like the league games and everything. Let's talk about football and everything. But guys, I'll keep it real with you. There's no point in being fake. I'm about the biggest games. I'm about the biggest games, the biggest clubs, the biggest things. So I'm fake. So you can say that maybe I'm fake in that sense, that I'm not really about the real football and the real grassroots. Screw that. I'm about flipping Inter against Dortmund, flipping at the San Siro where Inter have to flipping win, but Dortmund are not going to go there to roll over. I'm hoping and I'm praying that Sancho plays, because obviously he was given this whole disciplinary thing because he arrived late from international duty. Look, it happens. He's a young gun, but it's going to be a big game, because I think what I'm looking for is. The reason why it's going to be great is you have to look at what we have on the ground. So Inter Milan currently now have 1 point. They drew against Slavia Prague. They lost against Barcelona. So it's because this game is at home as well, they have to win this. Just because, again, I don't expect them to beat Barcelona even at their crib. I expect Barcelona to come and beat them at San Siro. So even those 3 points against Slavia Prague wouldn't even be enough. And I'll find it very hard for me to put money in them to beat Dortmund at Dortmund's crib. So a lot is riding on this game at the crib, so they have to win, so the pressure's upon them. And when you now put that into it, they're going to have to attack. So because they're going to attack, it's a big pitch, it's very wide. That plays perfectly into Dortmund's hands. I don't put money on Dortmund breaking down a team that sits in deep, because a lot of teams in the Bundesliga who face Dortmund, they actually do have a few men behind the ball and they know how to really shut off the space against Dortmund. Then they didn't break, which is what causes Dortmund issues. But I think for Inter Milan, who are not used to playing this Dortmund side, knowing that this is a very important match, and it's I wouldn't say it's to the point of desperation, but it's near there. They're going to have to push men forward. They have to throw bodies into that last third and give the guy with the ball as many options as possible in that final third. So how many chances can Inter Milan create? If Sensi ain't playing and Inter Milan, how much is that going to affect them? Because Sensi is huge for them. Can Lukaku ride? Are they going to be able to take what they took in their last game and actually bring it into this game? Because again, that Dortmund defense isn't great. They can be got at, they can be exposed, and I do feel that if the combination play of Martinez and Lukaku works out really well, and Sanchez can even come in and say what's up, then I think that could actually prove to be very problematic for Dortmund and how they defend. So moving forward into now, my thing now is like we're now looking at Dortmund now. I look to see what Dortmund can do and how they can attack and how they can break. The key guys, you got to look at Sancho, you got to look at Royce, Alcacer, but specifically, you're looking at what Guerrero can bring and what Hakimi can bring, because I think from the flanks it's going to be huge. Again, I cannot reiterate this enough. Big pitch. Huge big pitch that plays into the hands of your left back or your right back. Both of those guys can say what's up. Both of those guys can ride. So coming into it right now, you say to yourselves that which side is the strongest, which side is most likely. I think I've been thinking about this game, and I'm still going to maintain the team who I have to win. But I think we could be in for a bloody amazing game, because Dortmund only play one way under Lucien Favre, and they're a very attacking team. I watched segments of the game against Mönchengladbach, and you could tell they were definitely missing Sancho. It was a great goal by Maguire, superb goal from Maguire, very well taken. But you could tell that they were definitely missing Sancho, and Mönchengladbach didn't really fully defend against them. So Mönchengladbach, obviously, they were wary of what Dortmund could bring, but they weren't really that much defensive. And I wasn't really that impressed by Dortmund's attack. So, but then again, does that show how much they miss Sancho and how much of a difference that Sancho makes for this team? I don't know. Who knows? But just looking at this right now, I'm just really looking at this right now. I'm trying to say to myself that is there a way that Dortmund can win? The way that Dortmund win this game, they have to defend very well. Because Dortmund will get chances. I cannot look over those 90 minutes. Dortmund don't get at least 2 or 3 amazing chances against Handanovic. And I think whether it's Ruiz, Sancho, whatsoever, they're going to have really great opportunities where they can see the whites of Handanovic's eyes and they can ride through. But I think for them to win this game, they're going to have to be defensively strong. Because for Inter Milan, they're going to attack through Lukaku and through the oncoming midfielders, specifically Martinez. And I think the beauty of the Inter attack is the varying characteristics of a Lukaku and a Martinez, because Lukaku is a very different kind of a striker from an Alcacer or whoever Dortmund can bring in. So I just think that his presence, his physicality, his ability to control and bring in other guys into the game, his ability to even come in deep and then try and thread passes through could offset those Dortmund defenders. But look, man, it's a big game. It is a huge game. And remember, obviously, follow me on my Twitch. I will be doing a live watch of the game, hopefully with them forward, where we'll be both watching the game live on, of course, the Chelsea Ask game. So please feel free to join us. But as I look and as I think and as I just try and break this game down, it's Inter's to win. I think that Inter's organization, specifically defensively, even if they're going to attack, I just feel that Conte will still prove to keep Inter Milan balanced. Go for it, throw men forward, but be very, very wary of what Dortmund can bring. And I do think that Inter Milan's defensive organization from both Conte and the individual personnel there, flipping Skriniar and De Vrij are 2 very underrated defenders, And I think from what I've seen so far, Godin has been superb. He's been absolutely superb for them. So I just think from that point of view, I think Dortmund will have chances, but I think Dortmund will find it very hard to break down Inter Milan. Will find it very hard to tactically figure out what that Inter Milan defense can do. So if I'm looking at a scoreline, if I'm looking at a scoreline here, 2-1. I'm looking at it 2-1. I think Dortmund get a goal. Dortmund gets a goal. Maybe through a penalty or a set, but Dortmund get a goal. And I think Inter Milan can get those 2 Gs. I think they can get those 2 Gs. But I have to stress, though, that the key for Inter Milan is their balance of defense and attack. Yes, they have to attack. But if Inter Milan leave themselves too exposed with the speed that Dortmund have and the way that Dortmund play and the amount of men that they commit forward, it could be lights out. But then again, because of the amount of men that Dortmund commits forward and the fact that their defense is not that great, and I think Favre's teams are never really defensive that high, if Inter can utilize the ball very well and very smartly and use Lukaku well, because Lukaku, you need to show up. You need to show. This is a big game in which you need to show up and actually say what's up. So if they're able to do that and bring it in, it could be huge. But Inter cannot afford. If Dortmund lose, you can still say what's up because they've already got a W against Slavia Prague. If it's a draw, it looks huge pressure for Inter Milan in that game against Dortmund. And I think a draw for Dortmund is still pretty cool. 4 points. But for Inter, only 2 points. So, but if Inter Milan were to lose, I think that would be it. Because if Inter lose, they can't beat Dortmund in Germany. And I can't guarantee they'll beat Barcelona at the San Siro. So all that's left is, okay, them. But then they've got to go to Prague. So I still think they'll beat Slavia Prague in Prague, but that's still an away game. So that draw to Slavia Prague at home was really, really problematic and has caused them a lot of issues. But yeah, man. But the key of the matter is Dortmund are looking to win the game. Dortmund are not going to look to defend or to have men behind the ball. So Dortmund are looking to win the game because that's how they play. Inter Milan have to look to win the game based on where things start lying in the group stages. So which is why this has the recipe for a fantastic game. This has the recipe for what I hope and I pray could potentially be a classic. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a great game. But I'm going to still stick with my scoreline. I just feel and believe that. See, if we're talking managers, bro, I'll put more money down that Conte has a better strategy than Lucien Favre. And I feel that Conte's strategy will be able to nullify Dortmund, stop their counters, restrict them finding those passes through to their attacking wingers, Otto Reus and so forth. And they will be able to move the ball around intelligently, causing that Dortmund defense a lot of issues. And I just feel that Dortmund defensively will have a lot of problems dealing with what Inter Milan do when they attack. So I'm going to ride and just say it's going to be an exciting game. I'm going to roll with a 2-1 to Inter Milan. I'm going to watch for my post-match analysis after the game. Peace out. Support your boy HH and become a patron. Click in the description box below and gain extra content based on the tier of patronage you acquire. Click on the description box below to learn more. Thanks for your support. Peace out.